Hello everyone, welcome back to Today News K Wave channel. Jikook finally spoke, and this moment felt completely different from before. Fans had been speculating about their relationship, about the apparent distance, about their seemingly changing interactions. However, beneath all of that, something that had been kept under wraps was slowly beginning to be revealed. When they spoke, the atmosphere immediately shifted. Fans who had only been guessing were now left speechless, shivering, and many even felt mixed emotions. In this moment, their conversation felt more honest, calmer, but that was precisely what made it so profound. There was no pretense, no over-the-top drama, but precisely because of this simplicity, every word felt meaningful. Many immediately realized that this wasn't just a casual conversation. There was something different, something that perhaps only the two of them had felt, but now it was being shared, even if not openly. Fans who witnessed the moment immediately went wild on various platforms. Some felt relieved, some even more curious, and still others felt emotional at finally seeing a side of themselves that wasn't often seen. Reactions poured in, demonstrating how much influence Jikook had on so many people. It wasn't just about their time together, but also about how they understood, supported, and stayed connected despite the difficult circumstances. What made this moment even more compelling was how they didn't really explain everything in detail. They didn't give a completely clear answer, but just enough to make fans feel that something was changing. The way they looked at each other, the way they responded to each other, all felt like pieces of a puzzle slowly coming together. And that's precisely where its power lies, not everything revealed, but enough to be felt. Many began to wonder, was this truly a sign that they would be back together again? Or was this just a rare, coincidental moment? These questions continued to arise, but one thing was for sure. This moment left a profound impression. Even for those who don't usually follow closely, it was hard not to get caught up in the excitement of seeing how this interaction unfolded. It's undeniable that the public image of a relationship is often only a fraction of the reality. What's shown, what's seen, can all be different from what's truly felt. And perhaps, through this moment, Jikook is trying to show a bit of that side. Not to explain everything, but enough to illustrate that what existed between them never truly disappeared. Fans began to connect the dots, trying to find meaning in every small interaction that might have once been taken for granted. Now, everything feels more meaningful. Every detail, no matter how small, becomes the subject of endless conversation. And amidst it all, the strongest feeling is hope. Hope that what they saw wasn't just a coincidence, but the beginning of something bigger. This moment may not provide definitive answers, but that's precisely what makes it so memorable. Because sometimes, things that aren't fully explained are more powerful. They leave room for feeling, for understanding in one's own way, and for remembering. And for many fans, this moment will be one of the most unforgettable, a confession that wasn't fully spoken, but felt so real. As time passed, fans replayed snippets of that moment, as if there was something they still wanted to understand more deeply. Every second of that interaction felt like it held a hidden meaning that couldn't be explained in words alone. Even small details like facial expressions, pauses in conversation, or the way they responded to each other became a highlight that couldn't go unnoticed. Fans felt a renewed warmth, something that might have been doubted before, but now reappeared in a more subtle and mature way. What made the atmosphere even more intense was how the moment didn't occur under contrived or pressured circumstances. Instead, it seemed natural, flowing, and unscripted. That's what led many to believe what they saw was genuine. Nothing was overdone, but that's precisely where its power lies. Simple sincerity is often more touching than anything overly staged. Many fans reported rediscovering old emotions that had faded. The once strong feelings of warmth, hope, and closeness seemed to resurface. Some even said they felt like they'd returned to the early days when everything felt lighter and happier. This moment seemed to bridge the gap between the past and the present, creating a feeling that's difficult to describe, yet incredibly relatable. On the other hand, others tried to see things more realistically. They realized that not everything has to have a grand meaning, and not every interaction should be interpreted as something more than meets the eye. Still, it was hard to ignore the fact that there was a noticeable shift in the atmosphere. Even for those who tried to remain neutral, a sense of curiosity arose unwittingly. The conversation, though seemingly simple, held a different nuance. The way they chose their words, the way they gave each other space to speak, everything felt more mature. It was as if a deeper understanding had developed over time. And perhaps that's what made this moment so special. Not so much what was said, but how it was delivered. Fans began to speculate about what might happen next. Was this just the beginning of something bigger? Or was this just a fleeting moment captured by chance? No one really knew the answer, but it was precisely that uncertainty that made it all feel so alive. Every possibility becomes something interesting to discuss, to imagine, and to look forward to. Amidst all of this, one thing that cannot be denied is the strong emotional connection felt by fans. They not only saw but also felt. They not only heard but also understood in their own way. And that's what makes every small moment so meaningful. Because in the end, what matters is not just what happened, but how it felt to those who witnessed it. This moment also reminded many that not everything needs to be explained in detail to be understood. Sometimes, simply seeing and feeling can capture the essence of what is happening. And perhaps that's what the film conveys without having to say it directly. That something remains, something that doesn't disappear even though time passes. Over time, this moment will be remembered as a pivotal point that sparked many feelings and thoughts. It may not provide definitive answers, but it does provide something no less valuable: hope. Hope that no matter what happens, there are connections that remain. There are stories that continue, and there are possibilities that remain wide open. And for fans, that's more than enough to keep them going, keep believing, and keep looking forward to what comes next. And that concludes our discussion of this hair-raising moment from Jikook. What do you think? Is this really a sign of their comeback? Or is it just a moment that's been blown out of proportion? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I'd love to hear all your theories and reactions. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your fellow armies, and of course, subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest updates on Jikook and the rest of the K-pop world. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Purple Heart Fire.